because they either do or they don't is complete ridiculousness. And I think one of the main reasons that femininity is consistently villainized, demonized, and ridiculed is because femininity, for, I would say up until a few years ago, was deemed as a receiving or a recipient position. That's why women are supposed to be submissive. They respond. They never lead. We've associated femininity with being an assistant and not the primary person. Femininity has always been about supporting and being somebody else's property. And until our society views independent women as fascinating and sells as much as seeing a sexually explicit billboard picture, we have so much farther to go. And it's not feminism to change a male lead into a female lead, because we all know what they're doing. You have to create a character that is a woman. You can't just take a male character and slip in a female one. It doesn't work, because men and women are different. And how a male hero feels and thinks and how they behave may or may not be the same if they put a woman into that role. Men and women don't think the same ways. Sometimes I think they do. But if you've ever read in a book a soliloquy or someone's internal thoughts, male and female or whatever orientation people are, you can tell if a woman or a man wrote a book. You can't just exchange a male lead for a female one. You have to change the way the person is. They're just the basics of who they are. And yes, race, gender, and orientation completely changes a character. And it's usually in a good way. Not all the time. But you have to do feminism the right way. Making a woman believe that she's the best woman, trying to be a leader, leading like a man, is not feminism. You lead because it's who you are. It's like, never try to join the boys' club. That just makes you less than. Men are always going to have their own clubs. Being feminist is realizing you don't need to be in that club. You'll never be, you will be an equal, but they'll never see you that way. Because that's how men think. And that's why fewer women are in charge compared to how many men are in charge. Women will always be stunted because the society views women as less than. We villainize femininity. So any man who doesn't live up to the Superman male type is viewed as feminine. And that's where words like pansy come from. Because men may want to hit femininity, they don't want to be feminine. Because a man would rather be dead than be portrayed as feminine. And that is the cornerstone and ideology of homophobia. And that's why this country hates trans people. Because they dare to be feminine. They dare to be a gender that they may not have been recognized at birth. They don't keep to the gender roles. And they dare to be a threat. Men view femininity as a threat. Because if women ever knew that we could live without men, but men and their legacy can't exist without women, we would be in charge. And I don't want just any gender to be in charge. I would prefer if it was, Whomever was the best qualified should be in charge. And that's why may the best man win is sexist. It's the best person for the job. And electing Trump, who's a convicted felon, over a woman who's qualified and, is a much better choice, is why we are a subpar nation. And we're being led by people who hate femininity. Because if you don't understand consent, you don't understand and acknowledge women's boundaries, you hate femininity. Because any power that isn't masculine is a threat.